Okay, welcome back. We're back on TikTok, and I thought we would look up what are some of the more popular TikToks surrounding glutathione. Now, some of these are not in English because glutathione is much more popular in other countries, but there are still some pretty good stuff in here. And so this doctor right here, he's like just talking about like, why does this guy have such white skin? As you can see in this picture, this is insane. Him up against like just next to a girl who has just, you know, a normal skin tone, like that is like ghostly white. That is like pale, pale, pale. But anyways, I'll just let you listen to it.
Skin lightener that if you use it for long periods of time can create major side effects. IV glutathione is also used in Asia all around to lighten the skin, but we have to get rid of this idea that the lighter the skin, the more beautiful. That just is not true. How does he have such white skin?
That is
He's using
insane.
a skin cream that may contain hydroquinone. This is a powerful skin lightener.
Holy crap.
If you use it for long periods of time, can create.
Yeah, my skin goals do not involve anything near that color, but that is just crazy. I like how people say like glutathione is controversial. I think it's pretty good. I think everyone should be on glutathione. Like, you just should. Obviously, if you're taking a large amount of it, then you're gonna have, you know, the side effects, the skin side effects. But for most people, it's gonna be just the right amount to keep you healthy and to give you energy and all that great stuff. This one is pretty good too.
Of NAC, N-acetylcysteine. And it turns out the FDA is trying to make this a prescription-only drug. So what the hell's going on here? NAC is actually a precursor to the master antioxidant, which is known as glutathione. And this stuff is so effective that even WebMD is saying that it treats acetaminophen poisoning. But here's the deal. NAC is a form of cysteine, which is an amino acid you can find in plenty of foods. And it's a building block for glutathione, which means it is vitally important for proper liver detoxification pathways. And it's been shown to have antimicrobial, anti-carcinogenic, and anti-mutagenic properties. NAC has been shown to be beneficial for a variety of different conditions, including heavy metal toxicity, PCOS, liver cancer, Parkinson's disease, cystic fibrosis, and many others. So if they end up labeling this as a prescription drug, we have to look for more natural ways to replenish glutathione stores. So recently, you might have heard of NAC.
So this was posted a week ago. I don't know what country he's in, but obviously here in the US you can no longer get NAC. Some people were saying like there's still some on Etsy, and so I'm not even gonna really rush to go buy some right now because I know I'm gonna run out eventually. So I've already ran out now, and yeah, I'm just gonna be looking for something to replace it. And in the meantime, try to look for, you know, natural ways to boost it. But it's just like, it's so dirty what's happened with NAC. And I was watching this or listening to this podcast, and, you know, this person is, they have like a winery. And so test tasting their wine, you know, it's something that they do a lot. And so they were saying like they take NAC to help, because if you take NAC, it will not get you, you'll notice that you'll have like more of a tolerance to getting drunk. Now, just because you might be able to drink more and you might not have like the damaging effects on your liver because you're taking NAC, does not mean that if you overdo it, you will still the next morning wake up and feel kind of like lightheaded, like not lightheaded, but just hungover. Like, I still, like, if I drink too much, and so before I was making videos, I was just like, it's like I'm really sensitive to alcohol. I think what was happening was my tolerance, I was drinking more, and then I was not feeling the effects, and so I would just continue drinking, thinking, oh, this is okay, and then the next morning, after everything else was out of my system, that's when I was actually feeling what I put into my body. So it's just like, it like catches up to you. So whether or not you feel like it makes you more sensitive to alcohol, either way, like if you feel like you can drink more, like this person who has a winery felt like when they took NAC, and I don't know how much they were taking, but they had like a huge tub of NAC. So my camera died, but I'm back. But yeah, I didn't know that they made like tubs of NAC like that large, but I'm not even like worried about it because I would just run out eventually, and I don't know how hard it will be to get a prescription for NAC. Like if you can just go to your doctor and be like, hey, I was taking this before the FDA did us all dirty, millions of people dirty, and yeah, I would like to get more NAC. Like I don't know if it's that easy, or if you have to like actually have an issue or some type of problem, like they'll be like, okay, why? Like, why do you need the NAC? So I'll figure it out, but it's just, it's really, really, really annoying. I'm wondering what else is going to be next, to be completely honest. So this one I thought was pretty cool. It's like she talked about some supplements that I've not, like I've heard about DIM. She talks about DIM, and then, we'll just watch it.
I'm so glad you asked. You have my heart right now, you really do. It's the hormone to support, get this, memory and mood. You don't say. Isn't that why they sell depression pills and Alzheimer's pills? Yeah, it's because it's a hormone that you need. Not a pill from Big Pharma. Shh, don't tell them, they don't like me to tell. Need a natural muscle relaxant? Maybe some good old emotional well-being support? I got one for that too. All natural. Want some lung health? Respiratory, immune system help? They got one for that too. Look at there. Want to support the cells and keep your body going? They have one for that too. Want help with nutrient metabolism? They got that too. I was low in DHEA as well. Both. Yeah, there's two. Testosterone and estrogen. Once I started taking it, my weight issues went away. I lost 40 pounds right away. Didn't even try. This is not medical advice, but this is my...
Okay, so she has the DIM Detox, NAC, obviously we know that's gone. DHEA, some people have like in the comments talked about the DHEA and DIM, but I've briefly read on it. It was a lot of information. I kind of got a little lost. Just when you're taking these, it's supposed to help you balancing your hormones. Obviously I'm trying to go an easier way, but there are a lot of people who said like taking those two have like changed their lives. So maybe I should just go for the one that everyone's saying really, really works. But I just know one of them you have to also pair it with something else for it to work, or I think you get constipated or something. It was something silly. But yeah, I just like briefly kind of read about it, and I mean it seems to be pretty helpful, but we'll just see like how the magnesium goes for hormone balancing and the Gymnema sylvestra. But I thought it was interesting. And then she also has glutathione there, and then obviously she has her NAC, and there are so many people who are getting screwed over with these new regulations. So if you are in a country where you don't have to worry about this, consider yourself very, very lucky. So let's watch this one. Oh, I did watch this one. Okay, so COQ10. Who on here who's watching this is actually on this? Because like I would like to know more about it. This is again another one of those supplements. I hear great things about it, but I don't entirely understand you know, what the real life results are, because sometimes like people, if you were to read up about vitamin D, it's like, oh, it does that, cool. But until you hear from actual people who've used it, and they'll be like, oh, I noticed this, this helped with this, like then it makes it more I think easier to understand. So anyone who is on it, can you tell me what does it actually do aside from what it says on the bottle?
Researchers have found that taking this reduces signs of aging in the skin.
But is that all it
better
is?
And get more done. Glutathione is a great...
So tyrosine, obviously we don't want to take that. Also, I'm taking a supplement that has tyrosine in it. Tyrosine is one of the building blocks for melanin, but you also need another step. So if you are taking, or if you're taking something like a powder, a protein powder, that has that in it, I would not just stop taking it. Like I'm still taking mine and I'm still getting my results with my glutathione and everything else that I'm on, but I would not, like the amount that's in the protein powder that I'm taking, it's pretty small. I think it's like 3 to 5 milligrams or something. I don't know how much of the tyrosine, I wish I could like rewind. I'm not sure how much of the tyrosine she's taking, but obviously I would not just, if you're on a skin lightening journey, I would not just go out and like buy that supplement and add it. But after doing a little bit of research, I did see that it's just one of the building blocks. If you're taking other things that are like blocking the formation of melanin, I feel like what I'm taking is probably canceling it out anyways. And like I said, I'm still getting results, so that's why I'm not gonna freak out about it too much. But obviously I'm not gonna go and buy a whole bottle of tyrosine and add it to my skin journey. But anyways, continuing on.
Antioxidant. Its side effect is skin lightening, but it's quite controversial.
How?
researchers have found that
Anyways, CoQ10. I'm just wondering, because technically if you're taking collagen, then the elasticity, which really helps. Like taking a collagen powder, one that has type 1, 2, 3, 5, like has multiple types. The first one I took, it was only I think type 2 or something. Take one that has like a blend of different types and you're gonna see a difference. It really does help with the elasticity of your skin. Any type of saggy skin you might have, you'll notice it like firms back up. It's crazy, but it really helps. Obviously it boosts collagen, which helps you with your skin being hydrated, which if you're using topicals, I highly suggest, if you're skin lightening topicals, I highly suggest you take a collagen for internal to just help you keep in that moisture, because when you're using things like high amounts of lactic acid or kojic soap, it can kind of dry out your skin. And so like the end result is really pretty when you're using those acids, but just during getting there, it can cause, just a lot of peeling and some dryness, and it's not cute. So I just highly recommend taking something internally to help with that. And then like with the the Mequinol that I'm on, and it's a blend of Mequinol, mulberry, kojic acid, and then the licorice extract, and then the retinol. With that, I'm also putting on like a top layer of like a really thick lotion. So I'm not just using that because I understand that over time my skin's gonna start to change, and it's gonna start with like helping with like the cell turnover, and you just really need to use something for moisturization to keep that moisture in. And so if you're putting something on it, like a really heavy shea butter or some type of body lotion, you should also maybe take things internally that can help you with retaining your moisture while your skin is going through this process. Because yeah, if you don't, you might be a little uncomfortable. Just FYI.